I wrote an article for a journal giving a brief summary of my book and what I believe in, and they said although it was strikingly original, it would leave their inexperienced readership baffled as it stands, and decided not to publish it. And so I'm going to read it to you. Ancient Greek philosopher Plato believed that a name is an instrument for instruction, and it teaches by separating reality. Ονομα άρα Διδασκαλικον εστιν Οργανον kai Διακριτικον Ουσιas. Omicron delta, omicron. The shape of reality, omicron, as in Ουσιas, is divided, delta, as in Διακριτικον, into the shape O of the name, as in Onoma. Knowledge is the transliteration of shape across time. The patterns of shapes that appear in nature are transliterated or written across into the patterns of shapes that appear in a language of symbols. In mythology, objects are being represented through the shapes of symbols called Greek letters and words which have meaning, and so we can use the meaning of words to describe the shape symbolism of letters because I believe they're connected. With this, we can understand the letter of the law, the single thing being represented through the shape of each symbol letter. Once we understand the one thing, we can understand the many things, the motifs, multiple letters together expressing complex symbolism of natural phenomena and events. Not just letters and words, but in words and sentences across stories called myths. And so like the meaning of words, we can use the meaning of myth, stories told through Greek words, to describe the complex patterns of shape symbolism in letters across an entire language. I used principles from Plato's philosophic dialogue, the Cratylus, to decipher this secret language of symbols, the names by which gods and men call the same things. I believe like the meaning or value of a number is expressed through numerals and their position, words mean letters. The force of meaning of the word is expressed most simply through the first letter, like in the alphabet. In Greek, the letters have names, and the same pattern extends across the entire alphabet. Each letter name means the first letter. Alpha, means A. Beta, means B. The force of meaning of the word is expressed through the first letter. But what do the letters mean? The letters are symbols, and the symbols are shapes, which are representations of objects that exist in nature. And so, the meaning of words describes the object through the shape symbolism found in the first letter a word is spelled with, because the object is the origin of the word. Most simply, the gate is the object being represented through the shape of the Greek symbol letter pi, P as in boule, the word meaning pylon, gate, door. The object of the gate is expressed through the word meaning gate, because the symbolic meaning of the letter is connected to and creates the word's meaning. The gate as pi then symbolizes the wall, a part of a gate as in burgos, tower, towered wall, and the city as in polis, a walled city or state. And then more abstractly, the meaning jumps from one related symbol to the next as in polemos, war, battle, happening outside the city gates. These are called primary names because the meaning of the word or name is as close as possible to the thing the primary or first symbol letter represents. The closer in meaning, the more primary the name. The alphabet is the source of all symbolic meaning found in myth, and so I've picked out 24 words used in myth, which I believe provide the symbolic etymology of the 24 letters of the Greek alphabet. I've then used this idea to decode the secret language used to write ancient Greek poetry and philosophy. Plato says this letter symbolism is revealed in many passages, but chiefly and most admirably in those in which he, the ancient Greek poet Homer, distinguishes between the names by which gods and men call the same things. In those passages, he gives great and wonderful information about the correctness of names. A correct name is the quality of showing the nature of the thing named. The meaning of the word shows the shape of the thing named through the shape of the letter. And so names, as letters as shapes, belong to things by nature because the letters are shaped like the things they name. The name is a metaphor and carries across the meaning of the thing, its shape, to the meaning of the letter, its shape. To know a name is to know the letters, and knowledge of things is the transliteration of shape across time. And so in the context of the symbol language of ancient Greek poetry and philosophy, words derive their meanings from letters and express the complex characteristics of nature through shape symbolism, such as the object of the ox being represented through the shape of the symbol letter B, beta, and rho, as in vous, the word meaning bull, ox, cow, cattle, kine, and rhinos, the word meaning leather or skin, derived from rhis, nose, snout of an ox. Beta is an ox, and rho is an ox. Beta rho is a double ox motif, two letters together, symbolizing a big ox or bull. The symbolic attributes of a bull, vous, beta, as such as it expressing vios, bio, life, and via, bodily strength, force, are then expressed through beta-rho symbolism in words throughout myth. The bull as beta-rho symbolizes a living being, as in protos, blood, brephos, baby in the womb, fetus, and protos, mortal, man. The bull symbolizes strength, as strong as an ox, as in briaros, strength, might, power, brachion, arm strength, obrimos, strong, and hubris, violence from strength. And if words can mean the first letter, they can mean the first two, the first of each syllable, or the second and third, and not the first. Complex patterns of letters can be created in words across sentences and stories called myths. And this is what myth is and how we find its meaning. It's symbolic alliteration, the repeated patterns of letters to communicate their symbolic meaning. Such as in the myth of the 100-hander, the mythological figure whom the gods call Briareus, Briareon, but all men Aigaion, Aigaion. This meaning is then alliterated or repeated, for he, Briareus, is Vien, mightier than his father. Beta-rho symbolizes the bull, vus, beta, and the bull's symbolic attribute is then expressed through vie, the word used to alliterate his bodily strength or force. Briareus is beta-rho, is as strong as an ox. Or again, during the myth of the Trojan War, when the princess Briseis, is taken from the hero Achilles, he says, "Never have they, the Trojans, driven off my cattle, vus," in reference to her. The word here used in Greek for cattle is vus, beta, ox, cow, cattle, kine. But it is not his bull that is taken from him, it is Briseis, because Briseis means beta-rho, and she is a metaphor for the ox. She is his prize and status symbol, because the ox is beta and beta-rho are signs of wealth, status, and power. The bull, vus, symbolizes the king, Basileus, and so like a king is crowned with gold, the name of a king in Greek, Basileus, is spelled with beta, a symbol of wealth. The poets and philosophers are repeating patterns of letters to communicate their symbolic meaning. I've taken this understanding of mythology and ran with it, creating a classification system of symbols to successfully decode the etymology of ancient Greek letter symbolism. I categorized all of the letters under the four classical elements, fire, air, water, and earth, expressed through the shape symbolism of letters, omicron, lambda, iota, xi, the circle shapes being sun or fire symbols, etc. I've done this because I believe there's a main attribute or characteristic, symbolism, assigned to each single symbol, and this elemental symbolism runs through the whole of Greek mythology. Like a painting uses color to communicate shape, literature, not being physically pigmented, uses a metaphysical pigmentation. It uses shape to categorize and communicate the colors. Myth was the encoded story language of the ancient Greeks, and my theoretical framework allows for the interpretation and translation of myth as a separate and distinct dialect, an objective symbol language, for the first time. It gives the readers a philosophy, allowing them to read the symbols for themselves. And so, I reordered the alphabet to teach the letters as symbols. I start with the simplest shapes and move through to the most complex. I then build up this understanding to explain the most important motifs used in myth. The Greeks were very clever. Plato believed language was an imperfect representation of reality through shape and form. This presents the possibility that reality itself is an imperfect representation of more perfect, timeless, eternal, Platonic forms, the absolutes, the source from which everything emanates from. And so the study of patterns through language presents a path to answer the ultimate philosophical questions of the universe. You can discover my findings in my new book, The Media of the United States of America, available on Apple, Google, and Amazon, respectively.